It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah! Movie Toast.
What's
Hey.
up?
How's it going, Toasties? And how are you, Adam?
Oh boy, I am doing fantastico. If that's a word.
There we go.
I don't know.
It is
Episode
now.
201. I mean, we're in November, man. We're weeks away from Movie Toast the Festival. We've gotten our films picked out. We got awards picked out. I am ecstatic, man. How you
Me
doing?
too. I am very excited for that. I'm already looking forward to. I mean, yeah, there's like Christmas and Thanksgiving, all that stuff. But the real holiday is Movie Toast the Festival.
That's
right. And we got the date, right?
Yes.
That's
December 14th.
Yes. There we go.
Yes.
December 14th,
there we go,
folks.
off the top of the old noggin.
Yeah. I'm
man.
jonesing for some short films, guys. This is we're sharing them with you. I mean, we watched them all.
Yeah.
I'll like
You don't got a Jones. They're coming.
Nope.
We've seen them. They're
Right.
good.
You might
Yeah,
be too.
got some
You don't know. I
awards
don't know how
out
much
there.
you're gonna like it. I'm not gonna judge you if you
We're
enjoy
not
yourself.
gonna tell you. We're gonna judge them, but we're not gonna judge.
That's
you.
right. We
Yeah.
did all the judging. So
Speaking of judging, I'm gonna go into one of the gripes, one of the old man gripes. I went to a movie the other day, and I walked in. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Fucking AMC is selling these fucking Coke bottle looking glasses that fucking light up. And the fucker had it lit up the whole movie. I'm like,
oh my
what?
god. That is
You're
the
telling people not
stupidest.
to use their phone, but you're putting LED lights out in fucking cups? Fuck you, AMC.
That is the dumbest thing I've heard in a long fucking time. I might as well give you a free fucking flashlight. Here's your laser pointer.
Yeah.
Please be sure to shine it in people's fucking faces while the movie's going too. Okay, that's really dumb. That's awful.
I was kind of like,
oh my god.
irritated. I'm like, I
Wow.
guess I shouldn't. They're approving it. They're selling it.
No,
Oh, boy.
honestly, at that point, mention it to like that's something you should mention to a manager or something. It's like, look, that is wildly distracting. You need to tell AMC, go up the chain and tell them
Yeah.
this consumer does not want to see their shit, this dumb shit in a movie theater. That is so stupid. Oh my god. No, I'm just still floored. That's
Like,
even a thing.
what would Nicole
I'm-
Kidman say? That's what they gotta ask themselves. She'd say the check cashed. I don't care.
She's like, I filmed that shit 6 years ago. What do I give a shit?
Oh man. All right. I guess I got nothing else to complain about right
and
away.
that's what grinds his gears, folks.
You
that's
gonna
all right.
take this new off? Sweet.
No, that right now, you just got me all fired up.
I'm
about
happy
that.
I can get
I'm
you
not-
angry about
Yeah,
something.
I'm on your side. Oh god, that is horrible.
Yes.
No, I'm just looking for. I got a couple of interesting flicks. One from the 80s, one from the nowdies. So we'll
The nowdies.
get the right now. pretty
Damn,
fresh,
like just came
newish.
out, fresh on the streamer.
Fresh enough for me, at least. So
All right.
that ought to
let's,
do for some of you.
Let's stick with some fresh enough news because it's not all brand new, but it's news
Let's do it.
for
Let's
us.
do it. Let's talk some news.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Gather round, folks, it's time for the scoop. Tune your ears in, let's join the loop.
Tune those ears in.
One fucking job, Dennis, to hit
Yeah, I
the
know.
music. You son of a bitch, says the guy who fucks up every episode and is probably about to fuck this one up. All right, so up first in our news cycle, last week, and by last week, 2 weeks ago on episode 200, we talked about the fact that we are not getting Blade next year, but in place of Blade, we're getting a new Predator movie. And then right after we ran that story, more news came out. The fact that we're not just getting one Predator movie, we're getting two. And here's what they had to say about it. I'll tell you very simply. After Prey became a success, Dan came back and said he didn't want to do Prey 2. And we're like, what do you want to do? And he rattled off a bunch of ideas that were really crazy, but really cool. we've actually done 2 of them. 2 are coming out next year. One I can't talk about yet, but the other one is live action Predator film with Elle Fanning that just wrapped in New Zealand. That'll be out theatrically sometime next year. So I don't know what that means. Like live action theatrical.
Why would you specifically say live action? Yeah, it's because the other one won't be. Which
Right?
I mean, all right, I could see Predator definitely leans into something that would fit in an anime format. I would love to see in that sort of stylized representation.
And think of all you could do. You could bring back like characters from other movies, and they could be the same age. You could bring Arnold. You could bring Carl Weathers. No, he's dead, right? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, but it doesn't mean the character is. Oh,
That's true.
Yes, yeah. No, the character is definitely dead. The only one that we don't actually see die on camera, but it's suggested he did anyways, was the other the one who was injured. They were trying to get back to the Choppa, played by Richard. I can't think of his name. I met him one time. He was a really nice guy. But
I don't know what the alien's doing.
There's potential for some of those characters to come back. But even aside from that, there's putting them on other planets. They're seeing where other, we don't ever get to see where they live, right? That's never been on camera.
No, we've seen where aliens come from.
I think the comics and stuff might have.
Well, no, that's a lie. I think we were on the alien planet in Rodriguez's Predators. I think they went to their planet. That was the change up. Or it could be wrong.
Why did I feel like it was like a moon? It was like a it was like a game. It was like a game reserve. It was a planet where they would deliberately put things on it.
Okay, that sounds more viable. Yeah,
because that way they can't if the challenge is to hunt these things that we placed there ourselves, then they don't want to bring something that could then potentially decimate their civilization, I suppose.
True.
But yeah, no, that's cool. I'm up for Predators.
And it's like, I assume maybe that's going to head to Disney Plus or Hulu since it's not theatrical, it's not live action. Why not? I mean, you got, like you said, anything could work.
Yeah. They're fascinating enough characters. It's like the allure of Boba Fett back in the day. It's not knowing quite as much. Although there is
back in the day, not back in 2 years ago when they destroyed Boba Fett. Anywho, up next, Dennis. Earlier last week, they announced that the Lego Group has essentially hired 3 different directors. Jake Kasdan, who, of course, has done the last Jumanji franchise. Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman. And Joe Cornish, Attack the Block, the kid who would be king. All 3 of those directors are coming in and doing their very own live-action Lego film. I don't know. I don't think we need it.
No. I don't. What the hell is that? I mean, okay, I would have faith in it. That's like what was a Barbie movie going to be, but hell, that kicked ass. So, I don't know. But then you see the trailer for Minecraft, and don't fucking make that. Don't.
Honestly, I am slightly intrigued by Minecraft. Take the Jack Black of it all out. I think I'd still be slightly intrigued. It just looks odd enough and weird enough, and it's done by the guy that did Napoleon Dynamite. Would it be more interesting if it was Rob McElhenney like it was supposed to be a couple of years ago, but then he dropped out? Sure.
That would be,
but yeah. Hopefully it's not as bad as Borderlands, but I don't know. But you're right. There's potential here.
Exactly. There's so much creative. If it's capturing the spirit of Lego, then there should be unlimited potential in how you should tell that story. I mean, hell, I would watch
Pratt cameos.
Oh Christ. He's in all of them playing different people. One of them, he's just himself. It's just Chris Pratt. It's just
I like Legos.
We're just watching him build Legos for 90 minutes.
Some weird
starring Chris Pratt. Oh my god. People would fucking pay money to see that too. Oh man. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Yeah. I guess we'll see what they have to offer.
Right. Up next, one of my favorite arcade franchises, The House of the Dead, of course, had a film back in the day with Uwe Ball. It was all right, but now the director of our Resident Evil live-action films, Paul W.S. Anderson, is attached to come on and direct the reboot, I guess we could call it, of The House of the Dead. sticking in that zombie realm.
Yeah, especially if it's that shock and horror value. The spirit of the game itself. The zombies, yes, are scary, but you get those little jump scare effect things, and then just that build up to the creatures getting wilder and bigger. And I would love to see what you would do with a fresh take, a fresh start on that.
And I think the arcade games alone were enough of a kind of they had a story. You were always going stuff.
Oh,
you
yeah.
could just do that in a film format and add a story to it, and it could be really good or really bad. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a giant fan of the Resident Evil films, but I respected what they did. They made a lot of money for Sony,
sure.
and people dug them, and gave Mila Djokovic a bunch of jobs.
I was about to say that was a good jump start. I mean, she was in a bunch of stuff already, but another shot in the arm to her career, and proved she's a badass on screen. Although it reminded me of pointing that out, it would be interesting if they did try to mess around with some of that POV sort of effects, like Hardcore Henry and a couple of other movies at the time when there were a few
pulling from video game movies. I believe a little bit of our early Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson film when he did what was the game film that he did? He did Doom, yeah.
There's
I'm like saying not exactly that, but
yeah. Well, there's like a
three,
4, like there's like a 3-minute sequence that I think is all POV, but it was like way at the end.
But
I remember
think
that
of
being
how
like
far we are in technology these days.
Oh yeah.
Like perfect that.
Oh, for sure. I just think it would be something. It'd almost work. I would watch the whole thing in a POV format if you could make the story engaging enough. Which there's plenty of room for that to happen here.
Oh hell yeah!
And that would be terrifying.
It's been a while. Oh yeah, you got a lot of opportunities.
See that sucker in 3D. That would be. There's some classic 3D jump scare.
Scary.
Yeah.
I'd sign up for that. Staying in the realm of video games, Dennis, something we've all been jumping at the bits or at the nips, as I've said in the past.
Jumping at the nips.
We're finally getting the Oregon Trail movie, Dennis, for Apple TV Plus.
Nice.
And I believe it's the folks who brought us Blades of Glory behind this one.
Oh. Okay, yeah, you put a comedy twist on it. I could see that being funny, like just all the uber dramatic, like the wagon's just barely leaving the town and just somebody just drops dead of typhoid or something, and oh shit, Stevie's dead. All right, let's keep going.
But what I really do like about this, the writers of the film wrote a great movie back in the day with what was the movie that they did? Judas and the Black Messiah. We got the Lucas brothers writing this, and they're really funny, but they also can be really serious.
Interesting. So here, like if isn't going to be like a Jumanji sort of style thing where it's like people getting sucked into a game, or is it adding the familiar elements from the game into the telling of a story of a wagon train? I'm kind of curious what aspects are you going to lift to make it that if it's referencing the game property, what are you going to give us that will make us feel like that? I don't know. That's interesting. It's been around for so long, especially our generation. I mean, all of grade school, I think every computer in every class I had this thing
top of the line. You're learning, you're having fun.
Oh yeah. In fact, I have this one on the Switch, the image you're using as our thumbnail here, which is quite fun. Difficult, but
and it's interesting because I think a year or two ago there was like a horror movie version of the Oregon Trail that was put out.
Oh yeah. A movie?
Which should have been called the Oregon Trail. Yeah, no, a movie. Yeah.
Oh,
so I'm shocked, but
there's a game called the Oregon Trail that is a horror spoof of the original game. But
that's a movie version of that.
Oh,
but
crazy.
I feel like there's a lot of potential for this. Like, I feel like they're not just gonna make a boring movie.
Oh no.
Who knows?
I mean, hell, to be honest, just a straight up like telling of people's like journey through their experience of this. Funny enough, I mean, we just talked about Horizon. That was an aspect. One of the storylines in Horizon is roughly people doing exactly that, but it wouldn't focus solely on that perspective. Where, what's, all right, I'm quite intrigued. Quite intrigued.
All right, up next, something interesting. I think that you could get behind here. Recently, Robert Zemeckis was on the Happy Sad Confused podcast talking about his latest movie here, and he was saying, we have to say there are different things that might work, something like that, but the remake or suggest that there's going to be a Back to the Future 4, it just isn't in the cards. However, he then went on to say, I would like to do Back to the Future, the musical, just like Mel Brooks did with the producers. I would love to do that. I think that would be great. But apparently he pitched that to Universal and they just didn't see the appeal for some reason, which is odd because I feel like people are really digging the Back to the Future Broadway show.
Yeah. I mean, it worked. It seemed to work for Mean Girls. That seemed to be worth re-releasing in that format. It's happened in other places. I mean, I don't know. I would definitely go check that out if they did a wide release version of that in theaters.
Right.
I'm not against that because it's not. I don't want you to remake. Don't rehash the story. Don't make a sequel that's missing. Like the charm of these films, a big part of it was the cast, not just the effects, not the cool props and set dress and all that stuff, which are all also amazing. But the chemistry between these characters is never going to be repeated again. I don't care who you cast into it. That's just not. It's not why we would go back to watch it again. At least not for me. So.
And the crazy thing is, I feel like this could be a movie they could easily do one of those legacy prequels where you hand it over to the kids because, of course, Marty and his wife had kids, we learned. But it's like, we don't want to see that. And I'm happy they're not making it for the sake of making it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, thank God. Putting the musical spin, changing things up.
Grandkids, actually.
Shit, yeah.
It's been long
30 years ago.
Yeah.
God damn. No, 40 years ago? Almost 40 years.
Right, yeah. First, because part 3 was 88, I think, or 89.
Right?
So
Jesus.
Part 1 was 84, 85, 84, 83, something like that. Yeah, it's been a minute. So
speaking of being a minute, Dennis.
Yes.
We haven't had a scary movie in quite some time, and it's announced that the Wayans brothers are coming back to reboot their classic film Scary Movie because, of course, once the success of the first movie happened, Harvey Weinstein fucked them over and gave the franchise to other people, and that's why it kind of went downhill. And now they're coming back to hopefully give us something fun.
Right. I feel like, once they're getting the copyright back or getting ownership of the name back, why not hit it hard right away? Get take advantage of having those rights. You've got so much material to go off of. There's been so in the almost
horror community has tripled since then.
Yeah, there's all sorts of genres that they could poke fun at. That would be that'd be fun without even touching any of the movies they've already done. In fact, it'd be even funnier if they go back and they just kill off a few of these villains, like just to get him out of the way. It's like, no, we're not doing that. Like, just
right.
Interesting. Yeah. Those guys are a mainstay of entertainment, and to get them back on the big screen again. And
we haven't had them. What was the last one they did? Was it Little Man? No, White Chicks was before Little Man, right? Oh no, they had some weird Netflix movie a couple of years ago about a guy being naked in a hotel.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I missed that one. Huh.
But
I don't know. But
back on the big screen.
I'm intrigued to see this. Something that I think you have a little experience in on this next story. There's been an announcement that Jack Ryan is coming back as a feature film.
Yeah.
With John Krasinski and company.
Yes. And from what I've heard, it is going to continue not only this story, but the story that was resolved in Without Remorse. Hopefully, this is all leading towards some Rainbow Six action. That's something I've been wanting.
Got a little Michael B. Jordan in there.
Oh yeah, because that's the Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan. Oh my God, no. God. Now I'm drawing a total blank on this character's name because there's a couple of Jacks. It's which is a little annoying.
We'll just call it the Jacks movie.
He's Michael B. Jordan's character would be the one that's in charge of Rainbow Six.
Right. Yeah.
And the way they left that movie off, it was just got me so excited. And you need that crossover with the world from Jack Ryan because that's where a lot of the information comes from. The stage being set for the political intrigue comes from that end. And then we get to the actual action. The mission's getting carried out by the boots on the ground. putting all that together, and especially now, I like the idea of a team of encompassing like good guys who are just trying to save lives with Team Rainbow. And let's see how many people even remember what that is, because I'm sure others will try to twist it around for something it isn't. But no, it's the soldiers of every nation and what. Oh,
do you think they'll go theatrical, or do you think it'll go straight to Prime? I feel like for this, you'd want to go theatrical since you had the show on Prime, then go to Prime short thereafter.
That's what I hope for. I really, really hope they really try to hit the big screen and make it that big. I remember enjoying Without Remorse very much, and that could have worked on the big screen too. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, he kicked ass in that thing. That opening sequence was amazing. I loved that, taking out the dude through the water from underwater with oh god. Yeah, I really, really hope they go for it. I also wouldn't be surprised if they do send it straight to streaming, just to, you know, they have the platform and they did it for these things. But of people I've talked to who've watched all of Jack Ryan and stuff and enjoyed it top to bottom, and we're hoping for more. So let's
now
see what
do you see a play? You think they'd bring in John Krasinski to direct, perhaps, since he already
that would be cool. We know he can handle both those tasks. He's done it himself before. So I feel like he's got a respect for the character and the Tom Clancy universe that I feel like he could do it justice. Very, very capable of making an excellent movie. And yeah, I love that shit. I eat that shit up. So bring it on.
All right. Speaking of bringing it on, Dennis, there is some talks that Warner Brothers, and by talks, it's already happening, wants to bring on the Flintstones with a new animated feature film called Meet the Flintstones.
Interesting. See, with bringing back the classic Hanna-Barbera cartoons, always makes you wonder, like, am I just missing this added influence that's still floating around that I don't really see the a big impression the Flintstones.
I'm sorry, have you not been to a cereal aisle in a supermarket, Dennis? Flood it with Fruity Pebbles.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so are there going to be these kids that are like this is that guy that's on that cereal box? Like,
well, I mean, you got to reintroduce audiences to this prehistoric family, man.
Sure, that's what I mean. Well, is it that to me could just as easily be a streaming movie, maybe not a wide release theatrical film.
I mean, who knows? Perhaps, maybe it might be just streaming. Warner Brothers has a dodgy release strategy for things.
It's, I remember the Yogi Bear movie didn't exactly shake the house down. That last one.
You got Dan Aykroyd, Justin Timberlake, Justin Long,
seeing that in theaters.
Anna Faris.
Oh, yes.
I didn't see the movie. I wish I did, man. It sounded like a hoot.
Justin Timberlake surprisingly did it good.
Was he Boo Boo?
Yeah.
Nice.
And
but
Dan
I don't know.
Did a great job too. But
I do dig the Flintstones. I didn't realize that they're celebrating their 64th anniversary. And they only ran like 4 or 6 seasons, something minor like that.
But they were dense. They're dense seasons.
That's true. Hundreds of episodes.
Yeah. I remember, like, as a kid, especially early Cartoon Network, when they didn't have nearly as much of the original content. I loved watching Flintstones, Jetsons, a lot of the core classic Hanna-Barbera stuff, as well as the 100%. Other action cartoons, which I'm kind of surprised they're not trying to go and do that stuff more often, like a Space Ghost.
I mean, for the last 5 years, they were trying. They were gonna do like a grown-up Pebbles and Bam Bam. Elizabeth Banks was doing, and then that got fizzled out and canceled earlier this year. And I know for years Seth MacFarlane was trying to do a reboot of the Flintstones as an adult show, and that never happened. So I'm wondering what the pitch is that would be better than a Seth MacFarlane version that has intrigued people.
Let's go back and do a classic. I mean, it's never going to be the John Goodman excellence, but
no, we're not going to get John Goodman and fucking Rosie O'Donnell and Halle Berry and all those guys.
That would be awesome.
I mean, you could. Their voices.
Halle Berry is finally let out of prison, and for like everyone's like more than settled. Or at this point, you could have him retired. What actually? Yeah, what would
running the Water Lodge?
Water Buffalo Lodge?
Yeah. But yeah, what would they be doing retired? Like, what? I mean, they already got in all these crazy antics while they were working. Think of all the crazy antics old cavemen could get into.
Right.
Or what if this was like right
cavemen.
as like the Ice Age was coming? It's like, how are they going to cope with it? Can they survive?
Movie ends there, I'll just die.
It's a job.
It's a dinosaurs finale. Like,
It just
I guess we'll
dark.
just huddle together. Oh,
Oh,
man.
sad.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
see what happens.
And
See what happens.
staying in the realm of sad endings in Warner Brothers, there is early developments on a Game of Thrones movie, and it's not known whether it's going to be a continuation of the series or an all new experience here. I don't know. Mixed feelings on this.
It's like there's definitely, it's a big enough world, you could tell all sorts of stories. You know, people are going to want some familiarity in names and stuff. And I don't know, like I thoroughly enjoyed the main series. House of the Dragon's been pretty good. Last season maybe wasn't quite as strong, but it's all there. There's enough there's enough material to work off of to make this sort of thing happen. So I don't know, I'd check it out, but don't get like too crazy with trying to build off a whole. Don't plan on 9 movies out the gate.
Yeah,
just make
stick
one
with
good one.
One good
Make
one.
One good one. Then let's go from there. Otherwise,
and let's maybe do one good hour and a half movie. Let's not do a 2.5, 3 hour movie. Let's do one good contained 90-minute movie. We don't get that often.
Yeah, especially coming from from the world of Song of Fire and Ice here, that it's so used to. We're so used to seeing it in a longer format and getting more time to flesh out these stories. What are you going to show us in a limited window that will be finite and ends right here? Like so I'm intrigued what you could stir up. How are you going to get an audience all fired up that quickly while not giving us characters we've seen a bunch of times already?
And it gives them a chance to course correct from the mistakes they made towards the last season. Or they can double down on it. Everyone loves a good double down.
Right. See, what is it? What's the shit? What are they called when you can see through animals' eyes and shit? What's going to be like having that kid as a king?
Oh yeah.
Decades later.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
You know, does it drive him crazy? Does he start to lose his mind after a while? And who's supposed to be the pure choice is now the next awful thing to happen to the kingdom.
Right, he's the new fucking he's the new Joffrey that we didn't know.
Yeah, but a magical Joffrey. That sounds terrifying.
Now let's see what you can do without Hodor.
Hold that door, baby. Gotta get him out.
All right, Dennis, that brings us to the end of our news segment, but brings us over to our favorite secondary segment, polls.
Uh-oh. Lost your audio there, buddy.
On episode 200, I reviewed the latest Sebastian Stan movie, The Apprentice. So I wanted to know what the Toasty's favorite Sebastian Stan film was out of Black Swan, The Bronze, I, Tonya, and Fresh.
Jesus. Sad part is I didn't even realize.
You haven't heard of half of these films.
Oh no, I've heard of them all. I've only seen half of them, but I didn't even know he was in any of them. So that's
I mean, that's how good an actor he is, man.
He's a fucking chameleon.
Before Bucky, he was around. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know either. Doing the research, I'm like, oh wow, I like all these movies, and there's so many other ones. Like, sure, it's easy to say, let's put the Avengers films, but it's like, fuck that.
No, those are great choices. It's great choices.
Yeah,
I mean, I still love Black Swan, but I, Tonya was such a killer. Like, it was so just bleak.
In the best of ways, too.
Yes,
it had that dark comedy, and then it had the holy shit moments. It had the Oscars gold in mind, but it was still a very fun film.
Yes,
And
totally.
great cast, yeah, everything about it was pretty good. For me, it's tough. I really like this movie, The Bronze. It was this fun little movie with Melissa Roche, what's her name from The Big Bang Theory, Wolowitz's wife, as like this woman who used to be a fantastic, I want to say gymnastics person, and now she wants to train to go to the Olympics, and he's her trainer. It was just filthy and just hilarious. But I think for me, it has to be the movie Fresh, because just seeing him play this like lovable, charming guy, and then this dark, evil cannibal, I don't know, something about it was fun. But let's see what the Toasties have to say here. 5% for The Bronze. I guess that's more than I thought, to be honest. I didn't know if people knew The Bronze.
Kind of a deep cut, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
18% for Black Swan. Expected that to be a little higher. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I thought you were
sorry,
something
I
else.
Cut you off earlier. I'm sorry.
No, no. But like I said before, I totally forgot he was even in the movie. So I
don't know who he was.
I'm a horrible judge for that. But
all right, up next we have 18% for I, Tonya. Kind of shocked by that.
Which leads us so great in that.
Oh yeah, and Paul Walter Hauser.
Yes. Oh my God.
Fantastic.
Yes. Well, hey, there we go. That Toasties agree with you, man.
59. I thought nobody would vote for Fresh, but the Toasties clammed on with 59%.
Nice.
So I was thoroughly shocked. If you haven't seen it, folks, it's over on Hulu. Well worth the watch. It's chilling. It's fun. It's funny. It's dark. It's creepy. But anywho, our next poll brings us over to a little movie I reviewed on episode 200 called Saturday Night, which of course is about the first episode of Saturday Night Live. So I wanted to know what the Toasties' favorite original SNL members was out of Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, and Andy Kaufman. You got any takes here?
Fuck. That's a tough. That's really tough. There's so many Dan Aykroyd things I enjoy watching. There's Chevy Chase. Like, I love the vacation films, all the ones he stars in, not guest stars in. Screw that last one.
I still like it.
But John Belushi, God, I might be. No, that's
with
really
the limited
tough.
Time he had. He pulled
the Neighbors. Was such an incredible movie, and it's so sad we didn't get to see more dramatic characters because the man was so talented, and it sucks that his life was cut short way too soon. And he was as out there as he was. He knew he was so passionate about the performance. And from what he and Aykroyd did with Blues Brothers, just starting off as a sketch and then that getting to a movie, but they were so serious about making the music real. It's not going to be just gag stuff. Like, this is going to be a real thing. And I'm kind of split between Belushi and Aykroyd, to be honest. Those guys,
fair enough.
Those guys killed it.
All right, yeah. For me, I'm going Chevy because I love Community. I love those vacation films. So I don't know, but I do see the appeal in what you're saying here. And honestly, I don't know too much about Kaufman, so I can't really.
It's like I'm not familiar with. I know he's been in movies before, but I really can only think of him in the original sketches.
Yeah. All right, so the Toasties have spoken. 7% for Kaufman. So that's on par with us. 29% for Chase. 31% for Aykroyd.
Yep.
And that leaves Belushi with 33%.
Damn, look at that. Nice. Hey, that's the first musical guest or sketch they did on SNL was that I forget the name of the band, but they're all in bee costumes. That ends up being one of the precursors, I believe, for them to swing into the Blues Brothers sort of acts.
There you go. Yeah, there's a whole his plot in the movie is all about not wanting to wear a bee costume, thinking it's dumb and silly. And yeah, like you said, thanks to that, it jumped into other things from that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So finally, the Toasties agree with us on these polls. So that's a first. I feel like normally we're fighting with people that we can't see face to face.
Just kidding, Toasties. It's actually us voting on all these.
Yeah, we tried pulling it over on you. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
Oh, no. Thanks for turning out, though. We love to see. Well, especially, I like seeing when they get that close in ratings too. That's
and that last one, it was like 50 something votes.
awesome.
It's like
badass.
they came out in droves for that. Which I know people are like 50 something. That's nothing. I'm like, for us, that's pretty good results, I think.
Yeah,
not too
absolutely.
shabby. Yeah. So you want to get in the main reason why folks may be listening to the show or watching?
Let's do it. Let's get some reviews, man.
Lights, camera, action, it's review time. Dennis and Adam, we gon' blow your mind. We're stepping up to the plate, ready to swing. Analyzing movies like a scientist would play.
All right, Dennis. Up first, I think you have us with a little classic film.
I do. This is a little sports comedy from 1986, starring two people. Now, I'll be honest. I chose this because it was going by on the newly added list on Amazon Prime, but I'm going to be reviewing The Best of Times. So immediately caught my eye was seeing that thumbnail of Kurt Russell and Robin Williams. I'm like, I had no idea they did a movie together.
Right.
But here we are. It tells the story of a guy named Jack Dundee. He's a banker that works in his small hometown, still works in his hometown of Taft. And ever since high school, the fateful big game, football game that he was playing in, he missed a pass. He didn't catch the ball. It was a critical touchdown. They lost the game, and it's just been gnawing at him ever since. It's starting to affect the rest all of his life. He gets shit from other people in town. His father-in-law likes to remind him of it, and it's just kind of crumbled at his sanity a little bit. His best friend Reno Hightower, which these names are just fucking wonderful.
Who's named these guys? I love this.
I know, right? Reno Hightower, played by Kurt Russell. He now owns a specialty, call it a mechanic shop, but really it's a company that paints murals on vans. You know, the old van art that
I know, yeah,
popular. Yeah, so that's what he specializes in, and they're struggling. He's behind on mortgage payments, the loans that he's taken out at the bank that Jack works at, and it's his marriage is starting to fall apart. He's trying to keep it together. His wife's left him again right here at the beginning of the movie, and it's like, you got to get your shit together. And so Jack and Reno get together. And we're like, look, I you know what, Reno, we're gonna let's rematch the game. Let's get the guys back together. We're gonna play the football game again, but this time we're gonna win. And I'm like, yeah, and it's like at present day, and everyone's just like, this is a horrible idea. This is not gonna work. So through a lot of rather convoluted attempts at trying to motivate the town, he even dresses up as Robin Williams' character dresses up as the mascot from the other high school and terrorizes the town and tries to make it look like they were right, like randomly after he's gone around telling everyone that they should do this. They just so happen to come and annoy everyone with this stuff. It's silly. Like it's definitely one. What's funny is as I was watching it, the way it was filmed, I kind of thought it was like a TV movie at first. Apparently it wasn't. It had wide theatrical release. But and it's silly and it's lighthearted for the most part. But man, these guys are having a hard time. Like it's their lives are really just barely holding together.
And they're probably at this point, maybe in like their early to mid 30s, I assume. So they're not
mid 30s at least. No, yeah, but definitely.
But they're playing it as like we're aged out.
Not quite. It's more like just. Should you really be wasting your time with this? This is the thing that you really want to be doing. There's a great montage scene of them getting all the guys who are like moved out of town, get him to come back to do a couple practices together. And so many of them are like so out of shape. They can't.
Any good cameos?
And there's a few recognizable faces. Emmett Walsh. I don't know if even if the name doesn't sound familiar, if you remember Home Improvement very well, that was Tim's shop teacher that is in a bunch of episodes. I recognized Donald Moffat, who plays Robin Williams' father-in-law. So his character's name is the Colonel. But in The Thing, another Kurt Russell movie, he plays the army officer that's in charge of the facility that they're staying at. A lot of TV actors I recognized, but no one else like super big. Pamela
Fair
Reed.
enough.
But yeah, it's one of those funny, and I was really surprised to find out they filmed it all right around like the LA area. It looks like it's out in the Midwest or something, but it was just literally Taft High School. That's why they call it. That's why they call the town Taft. It's got a very homey feel to it, a very everyman sort of approach to stuff. It's
Nice.
goofy. It's a little wacky, but not too over the top in that regard. Like nothing too crazy, unbelievable, I guess. But it's a little overdone in some of the plot twists and things, and some of the journey to get to the point to where like we know we're going to be watching this game, right? They it's a few too many little like corkscrewy things before we get there, and it's not very necessary.
Do we eventually end up at the end of the second act? The two guys are at odds. They don't like one another. Someone discovered something about the other one, like they threw this part of the game or anything.
You're so damn close. It said it's getting Reno fired up.
You're not gonna ruin it, but yeah.
Oh, Reno gets fired up. He gets motivated. Let's say that.
Nice.
So, but really, what it comes down to is the chemistry between our two stars, and they are wonderful together. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do more stuff. Unless there's other little gems like this that are floating around that just haven't got around to yet. But anytime you get Russell and Williams on screen together, it's a funny scene. They had a lot of great banter, and it's a Williams. I'm trying to think of what other movies is kind of the performance he was giving felt like, because he was the straight man a lot of the time. It's not like he's cracking jokes either. You're just kind of watching his misery, and that's where a lot of it comes from.
That's where the funny.
Yeah, and Kurt Russell's just trying to be just trying to keep his head above water, but he is still really good at this. Like he's still that quarterback. But nice. It was a fun time. Is this something that like everyone must see? Probably not. It calls it a sports movie. I don't think it's hardly a sports movie. That's, if anything, that's just kind of what's happening in the background. Yeah, you get the scene at the end that does take place during the game. Of course, this is what we're all building up to. But it's really the chemistry between these two guys. So it was a fun watch, and it was hour 45 minutes, so it's nothing too long.
Digestible.
Yeah. The best of times, I'm going to give 2.5 slices, and it's available on Amazon Prime.
Not bad. Up next, I have the final installment of the Venom saga, Venom: The Last Dance.
Yeah, Tommy boy.
This picks up where we last saw our two gentlemen seeing Spider-Man on TV. They're in Mexico. They're on the run. They're running from the U.S. law because, well, they know that they've killed people in San Francisco in the first movie. And it turns out they're also on the run from these hellhounds sent from the planet where the symbiotes come from, because the guy that created the symbiotes is imprisoned there at the hands of the symbiotes. His name's Null. He has controls of these evil kind of hellhounds, and he sends them to specifically hunt down Eddie, Brock, and Venom, because once they merge as one, since Venom brought Eddie back from the dead in the past, they have this convoluted key that can unlock Null from his prison, and then he can wreak havoc on the world. And so that complicates things. And to make matters even worse, we have this little government agency that works underneath Area 51 that's being run by Dr. Teddy Payne, played by Juno Temple. And she has this this badass army sergeant named Rex Strickland, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, hunting down symbiotes. Nice. Yeah. So they're on the run from 3 different entities, and all that Venom wants to do is go to New York City to see the Statue of Liberty. But it's not so easy for these guys. They're on this crazy road trip, and there's comedy, there's drama, there's gore. Whenever we have Eddie and Venom on screen together, it's dynamite. It's gold. They're hilarious. They're touching. They got this cute bond, and it's great. And then when we cut to the scientific bullshit and the army stuff, it's like, oh, cool, great. Let's speed this along. Let's get back to the fun stuff. And then there's your typical third act big set piece, and it's like it's good, but it's like I wanted a little bit more out of this final act. And I'm not gonna lie, there's some touching stuff, some heart-wrenching things that happen in this. And I don't know, it has a good cast. There's some really funny moments, but I'm gonna give Venom: The Last Dance, currently in theaters, 2 slices of toast.
Okay.
Not bad, not great, middle of the line, kind of what you would expect out of this franchise.
Did it at least feel like a fair enough send-off for the Venom character for the time being?
It did. And of course, there is your mid-credit scene and post-credit scene where stuff happens. But
sure,
you're gonna have to check those out on your own.
Yeah, it's like I mean, assuming given the rest of the slate of Sony Spider-Man villain stuff, it's got to be Sinister Six we're supposed to be building up towards.
Exactly.
You'd think, especially with Null being the villain in this movie, that's kind of what it sounds like it's supposed to be going. So I'm curious what. I know we got a couple more movies before we get there with Craven.
Yeah.
And I think we got everyone else now, don't we? Venom, Madam Web.
I don't think we have all 6.
Craven.
I was trying to.
No, I mean, obviously, it won't be the original Sinister Six.
True.
Morbius. Oh yeah, shit.
Oh yep.
Who else?
Michael Keaton's.
The Vulture.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Hey, yep. We're also getting the Rhino in Craven, so he's another member.
Okay. Well, there we go.
And then, of course, right after or before the Avengers, we're getting that next Spider-Man movie. So hopefully, we're going to get some momentum of that stuff culminating. I don't know. One can only hope.
Gap there. Disney and Sony, can you play nice together?
You're going to have to if you want to survive, I think.
Right.
All right. Up next, I have a new religious thriller called Conclave. This is about the death of a pope, and it's about this conclave of people that come together, religious figures who are voting on the next pope, and some of those members are the hopefuls to become the pope. And then you have our main character, Cardinal Lawrence, played brilliantly by Ralph Fiennes, and he is just trying to keep everyone in order. There's chaos. All these people have different political agendas, different reasons they want to be the next pope. Some people don't want to be the next pope, even though they are in line for it and they are pretty much destined for it. And it's like interesting because you're learning about shady things that they're doing and how it's being swept under the rug a little bit. Then you're learning about how some people, just different things, like you're learning different things throughout the movie. And you have a fantastic cast here. Besides Ralph Fiennes, you have Isabella Rossellini, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, and some other performers. And everyone's giving top-notch performances. This is, there's this amazing kind of score throughout the whole movie. The cinematography is like very rich. The set design is so lived in and has that like Rome look to it. Our wardrobe is just so lived in, and you're having different actors from different countries portraying all these different characters. It just feels real. It feels raw. It feels visceral, and somehow it's action packed. It's 2 hours. Now, could it be trimmed down? Yeah, sure. Is some of it a little unnecessary? Yes. But it's like a really fun movie. This reminds me of something that would fit in that like Angels and Demons, that Tom Hanks saga.
Oh,
feels like something that should be sliced in the middle there. And this was done by Edward Berger, the guy that did All Quiet on the Western Front. So there is also, as this is happening, chaos is happening in the street. There's like bombings and stuff, and these guys are sequestered, so they can't reach out to the outside world. They can't find out about what's going on. And yeah, it's just, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. And it's a fun little thrilling movie. I'm going to give Conclave 2.5 slices of toast.
Oh, cool. I was very much looking forward to this review you had, and looking forward to seeing it myself.
Geez, when I saw the trailer, I'm like, holy shit, this cast and just the subject. And it's not overly and overtly religious, even though, yes, it's about a pope, it's about religion.
But it's the tension of the process, like, right? It's getting through this ordeal of, because I mean, anytime this happens, the entire the world watches, whether you're Catholic or not. You're gonna at least hear about this happening. So that's
It's
that's
funny.
fascinating.
After I saw this movie, a couple of days later, I saw a upcoming holiday movie called The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever. And that was somehow more religious than this. And I'm like, this is about the fucking Pope. And you're about a fucking Christmas pageant. What the fuck is wrong with the world? Okay, sure. Oh, man. But top-notch performances. Everything about this is fun.
Awesome.
Even if you're not religious, you can have a good time, I think, watching this. And talking about having a good time and watching stuff, Dennis, you have something that I am looking forward to hearing your review on because it's on my list.
All right. I'm talking about the newly released Netflix original film, Don't Move.
Oh.
So this is starring a couple of fantastic performers, Kelsey Asbeal and Finn Whitrock. You may know Kelsey from... apparently has done a lot of CW shows in the past. Most notably Yellowstone. That's the new season's right around the corner, where I very much fear for her character. And then Finn Whitrock, who's been in a whole lot of American Horror Story, is what I think I know him most from. But here's the story of a rather shattered woman who had lost her son. He unfortunately died in a tragic accident, and she wakes up one morning and decides to go out and visit the place where it occurred. And while out there, it seems she's really low, really, really low, and she might take her own life. But this guy, it looks like a park ranger, approaches and just decides to have a chat with her and kind of really talks her down. And she follows him back down the trail. She's going back to her car before it starts getting a little awkward. He's for some reason he parked his car right next to her driver's side door and kind of traps her and then drugs her. She wakes up in the back of his car, and it's clear this is some bad shit is about to go down, and she's doing anything she can to get away from this absolute piece of garbage. And I mean, this thing, the drama and the tension starts in the first scene and just keeps mounting from there. And she does such a good job of just showing that terror and just fighting as hard as she can to stay alive. Finn just does a great job of being a creep, as I feel like we well know if you've seen him on American Horror Story, but in a way that it's much more disarming initially, because you have to be to lure your victim in like that. Quickly becomes clear this is not his first time, but his a wrench is thrown into the machinery when he finds out his wife and daughter are coming out to the family cabin to stay the weekend with him. So he might need to wrap up his he thought he had a whole weekend with his prey, and he only has a few hours. So as the clock starts ticking, desperation sets in, and she goes from this drugged state to being paralyzed because of this drug she was injected with, to brief moments of movement and just some clever clever thinking, and just doing anything you possibly can do to stay alive. And I had a great time watching this. It was a solid thriller. It is relative. I want to say relatively contained. We're kind of in the same outdoor location. We go to one cabin, but we kind of circle back to a couple places. And I think the logic of the film, for the most part, makes a lot of sense, just in the types of moves that are being made by each character. The brief moments of intervention we kind of get, of course, get stolen away, but in some very fantastic ways. There's a couple of twists in there that were really, really fun part of the ride. And at 90 minutes, I mean, the thing fucking sails by. It's quick. I had a great time watching it. I did think the ending, they could have ramped it up a little bit more, but maybe that's probably just me. I still think the ending was pretty good, but I think one more jab to the gut would have been enough to make it a little better for me. But I'm going to give Don't Move 3 slices of toast, and it is still available on Netflix.
Not too shabby. Now, do they explain why he does what he does, or is it just like he's a psychopath? Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's the thing. Maybe.
Okay. All right.
That's actually a more accurate answer. You're told things, but only parts of them. It becomes evident he lies a lot. So how much is true is kind of up to you to, as the audience, to decide which parts are real and which parts aren't.
Fair enough.
But definitely parts of his story are true. So it's
now,
yeah.
What's interesting is I feel like it's a shitty situation. I hope and I pray that this woman gets out of this situation alive. But it's kind of interesting because you said she was kind of on the edge and she wanted to end her life. And at the end of this, she probably has a brand new lease on life if she pulls through. Which
That's
is
like
kind of
that becomes
gift.
its own. Yeah, that becomes a point of conversation between them.
Interesting.
It is kind of its own little plot point there.
Still not saying go out there and drug people to give them a second chance.
Oh God, no!
Don't be Jigsaw, please.
Exactly. No, I immediately had that where it's like, oh, it's almost like that Jigsaw shot of life again, but not in a Jigsaw-y way. Like it's definitely its own flavor here.
Nice.
But I think they gave great performances. It's tense. It moves at a brisk pace. It looks like one of those where I feel like they worked with enough of a budget without having to fuss too much over some of those fine details. You know, they have to CG in a couple of things to make them work. That it's not fucking Avengers polished level bullshit, but that doesn't matter in a movie like this.
No,
there's so much is on location, so much is done in camera, and they go for it. So it's a solid watch for me.
Not bad. All right, I have one more to close us out here. I have a new movie called Anora. All right, now this is the latest film by filmmaker Sean Baker. His most notable films, of course, are Tangerine, The Florida Project, and Red Rocket. So this guy has a very distinguished style off the bat. This follows a young woman named Ani or Anora, played perfectly by Mikey Madsen. You might recognize her from a few things. She's normally like a secondary, tertiary character, but she plays a stripper and a sex worker who one day is pulled out of her break because there is a gentleman, a young man, who is requesting a stripper who speaks Russian, and she happens to speak Russian, so she gets sent over to him, and they go to a VIP dance, and he asks, hey, do you happen to work outside of the club? And one thing leads to another, and she meets him at a mansion. Now, he's on vacation in America. He's staying in this palatial mansion. He has so much money to throw around. We find out that he's the son of a Russian oligarch. So there's a lot of money in the family. And over time, the two just kind of hit it off. They have this good connection. A lot of sexual chemistry. And he ends up saying, hey, would you maybe want to be my girlfriend for the week? I'll give you, I think they agreed on like $10,000 cash. And she's like, sure. And then one thing leads to another. They go to Vegas and they end up getting married. And things are going pretty well for them. And then the boy's parents find out. And this guy who is like this, I'm a man, yeah, I'm cool, fuck everyone, this and that, is kind of afraid of his parents coming to town. So his dad kind of sends these 3 goons out to watch him to make sure that they get an annulment. And the boy kind of disappears. And then it becomes kind of this like, I want to say, home invasion movie where she is stuck with these guys and she's being kind of held against her will. And then they got to go out and find him to end this nightmare. And this goes from this like cute little romantic movie to this very frantic kind of movie. It kind of represents it kind of feels like Uncut Gems and the Safdie brothers a little bit, because it feels like you're on the street. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's dark. It's gritty. There's action. There's comedy. You kind of don't know who you want to root for at certain moments in this. And it's kind of sleek, it's sexy. This is more of a bigger story, more of a wider swing than we've seen Sean Baker take before. And Mikey Madsen is fantastic. The guy that plays her husband is great. But one of the breakout stars here is one of the goons named Igor. This guy is just he steals every scene he's in. I loved it. And it's kind of like, will they get an annulment? Will they find the kid? Is he going to be alive? Is everyone safe? You don't know. It's all up there. And for the first, I want to say maybe like hour, it's kind of like a romantic comedy. It's kind of like Pretty Women with a lot more fucking and a lot more sexual orientation stuff happening. A lot of drugs, a lot of craziness, and then it's like a whole different movie. But it all works perfectly in this big culmination. I really enjoyed this. And it's a bit of a long film. It's 2 hours and 19 minutes. There's a couple moments where I'm like, oh, this movie's going to be over soon. Oh, but it's not. But I'm cool with this because I'm enjoying this. But where are they going next? I don't know. And I was loving every second. I'm giving Anora 3.5 slices of toast.
Damn.
It's currently in limited release. They're doing like a little bit of a slow delayed rollout, but I feel like by the time this episode's live, it should be wider. I think definitely
Awesome.
worth checking out.
Damn, yeah, you've sparked my interest, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Interesting. That's quite at the turn too.
Oh yeah, it's like holy fuck, man. Like, and then I listened to Sean Baker and Mikey Madsen on a podcast, and like there's this one scene, like I said, it becomes like a home invasion. It took them 18 days to shoot this scene, and I'm like, holy fuck,
Oh, shit.
that's insane, man. It doesn't feel like it because there's a lot happening. So I'm like, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. But I had a blast watching it. I wasn't sure what I was going to feel because I'm kind of mixed on this guy's films. Like, there's normally like something about it I don't like, but I don't know. This one, it did it for me.
Not today. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, damn,
All right,
folks,
well,
that's all the reviews we've got for you in this episode. As we teased back at the top, though, man, we got a festival just screaming towards you. December is right around the corner. We're already well into November. It's coming up quick, so mark your calendars. December 14th. It'll probably be about midday for most of us here in the States. The international viewers, join us when you can. It's
going to be international. We got like what is it, 12, 13 films, but 7 countries.
7 different countries. Yeah, 7 different countries represented in what we're showing, and we had even more submitted from even more beyond
all different genres. There's nothing's like the other. Everything's different and fun, and there's a fun rhythm going with the films. I think the way we scheduled it as well.
Yes, and there is something special about this year in that in years past, usually there was like someone that's like, oh, clearly this one gets the award for this. This one gets the award for this. I really had to go back and forth like that.
We spent a good night arguing about what should get what.
Deliberating. I want to
deliberating. Yes,
because
not art. Yeah,
because it's the fact that you could be so passionate about aspects of all of these short films. So many of them are so good, and this one was the hardest to decide up to date. I think hardest to decide.
Easy to make the call of what to show, but award wise, holy fuck! Like
it really came down to
I think this. This is why I think this, and this. I think the same thing as you on that. But how are you going to win me over? How am I going to win you over? And but boy, I hope everyone likes what we chose.
I think you're gonna have a great time watching some incredible work from some very talented filmmakers, and should be a fun time.
And you don't gotta go nowhere.
Fun time.
It's gonna be right here, YouTube, Twitch. I don't know. It's gonna definitely be on YouTube, streaming, premiering. We're gonna have a live chat going the whole time because it's all pre-recorded. Dennis and I will have interstitials where we come in and talk and set things up, but we're going to be watching and talking with everyone and just having a good time.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Please join us December 14th.
Yep. Keep an eye out.
Dennis said we are done with reviews, but we're not done with your reviews, folks. We want to know what you like and what you dislike about the show. We want to make it as golden brown and buttery as possible.
Yeah.
your
that,
ears
that
and
movie
your
toast
eyes.
deliciousness. We want to give you
Mhm.
exactly what you're hoping for. So please leave us a review at Apple Podcasts. So that way we can get that essential feedback just to punch that show up a little bit more. And like Adam said, make that toast just a little bit better.
Yes. And also you can get little snippets of the show, different reviews, news in real time. If you follow us on our socials, folks, Facebook, we got 2 of those because we're old men. We got X, we got Instagram, we got TikTok, Thread, YouTube, all at movie_toast, or search Movie Toast News and Reviews. You'll find us. There's always something happening over there. I have no life. That's my life, essentially. I don't get paid, but I just post all day.
Live for the
It's fun.
toast.
Follow us. Yeah. Die by the toast. I'll have a heart attack because of toast, probably. Too much butter. Whew. But hey, you guys don't want to do anything. You said, fuck your festival, fuck your review, fuck your podcast. There's one thing you can do, and it's for yourself, folks. And,
We just ask that you please stay toasty.
stay toasty.
I'm the Dennis, they're the kings of the real. Reviewing new movies, they keep it real. Coast to coast, from LA to the east. On the podcast show, they feast on the beast. Adam's bringing knowledge like he's Professor X. Dennis with cuts deeper than Wolverine's claws. I guess Marvel, DC, they know them all by heart. Breaking down the plot, tearing every scene apart. They got the juice like Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. Breaking down movies with a sharp precision. Adam coming in hot like a John Wick hit. Dennis bringing the heat like the climax of a Tarzan flick.
Whew. Wow. All right. Got a lot of news in that episode. Huh, man?
Yes.
Oh man.
Newsies
I
over
got-
here.
I was rocked to my core yesterday, Dennis, by something I discovered. I want to ask you, if I was to say Mr. Pibb and red vines equals crazy delicious, does that mean anything to you? Or am I just a fucking weirdo?
It doesn't surprise me.
I
No,
guess.
it's no. When I no. You're just making assumptions now.
Alright.
No, it was a thing.
saw
I
your face.
remember red vines and Sprite. Usually,
Okay.
like it usually was like a lemon lime. I don't know. I remember doing the
Alright.
lemon lime sodas
Okay.
with
I
the
get
red
that.
vines.
All right. Well, I was leaning more towards a segment of Lazy Sunday.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
oh,
Sorry. See,
sailed right
Yep,
over.
right above you.
it's been a
See,
long time. It's been a while since I've heard
Exactly.
the whole
I get
thing. So
yeah. In my head, that always lives in there. I don't know why, but I mentioned that, and Sarah's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what is. I'm like, what? You like Lonely Island? We've seen them live.
It's one of those classic
like, I
things,
don't know
though.
that
It's
song.
like quoting like even that episode of The Office where they spoof it. It's this line is the one that burns in your head, but then for
Well,
this group of people,
she
it's that
literally
line
then
is-
played the song, and she's like, I don't know what this is, but yet she knows all these obscure tracks off that one album, and I'm like, okay,
oh,
all right,
Huh.
but you just proved my point that I am wrong. You proved your point that yeah, all right, fair enough. Thank you. You're my mediator here. I feel
Okay.
like a fool. Ah, man.
I
don't know.
think of getting cupcakes and going to the movies.
Yeah.
And yeah,
love
but
those
the other-
cupcakes more than McAdams loves Jocelyn.
Yes, Gosling,
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Jocelyn,
Yeah.
Jocelyn shit.
I always also think about everyone stared and awed when we scream Matthew Perry. Now, quiet in the theater, it's gonna get tragic. We about to get tickets to a dream world of magic. I don't know. Such
The
So, like,
Chronic
maybe-
Chronicles of Narnia.
it's like maybe it's an age thing. I'm like, I do very, very vividly remember when that episode came out.
God.
There was a snow day, and I remember that movie came out. I was excited. Yeah.
Oh
maybe it
man,
is.
yeah.
I'm just an old guy.
No, that was I think every day for a week that was played in our video production class. Just
Like, I feel like that was their first big hit, but she's like, I know, Jizz My Pants. I know I'm on a boat, Dick in a Box. I'm like,
Dick in a
yeah,
Box,
but
yeah. Dick in a Box was the
before
first, I
that.
think the first one that really took off, and then right?
No,
and
I
then-
think it was Lazy Island, Lazy Sunday, and then that came a little
Oh.
later on. There's a whole Lonely Island podcast where they go through with fucking that late night Seth Meyers, and
Oh, sure.
yeah, they go thing to thing. I never fully watched them all, but it's fascinating. I don't know why I'm still talking about it. We're movie toast. It doesn't matter. Anything else before we say goodbye for reals? You can think of?
No, I don't think so. Hope you all stay toasty, folks. I got we'll see what new batch of films come out this next time. It's not making it down to the movie theater, unfortunately, but I had fun digging up the best of times. I just want to see if I can find a couple more of these like odd 70s, 80s things that you just don't hear about very much, if at all. And because I've been surprised by gems in the past, so trying to poke around and do some excavating on some of these streaming platforms and see what's sometimes you got to get past the first couple pages of options because
you really do to find stuff down your
and
like I literally have a list on my phone of things I need to circle back to because I'll forget in like 5 days. I'll be looking forward to a movie and then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I've got a couple of really odd like documentaries, both video game related. I've been wanting to movie toast for a while that I might get around to finally. One about the making of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game, and then another about speedrunners, video game speedrunners that came out last year, I think. So maybe one of those will be on the lineup, but just have to come back and see.
Yeah. What a teaser, folks. Until next time.
Till then.
Thank you.
Thank you.